Well, we're updating you on a sad story from earlier this week. The family of a Methuen teenager says he faces a long and difficult recovery after being hit by a hit-and-run driver at a school bus stop. 15-year-old Joey Berry was med-flighted to Boston Children's Hospital immediately after. Robert Jacques of Lowell is due in court after turning himself in. Police had said that they had surveillance video of what happened, and that many people believe led to Jacques turning himself in. People who live nearby, they say they just can't understand why the driver wouldn't stop. Police say Jacques drove his pickup around a school bus even while the red lights were flashing and the stop sign was engaged. Neighbors say the scene at Lowell and Capitol Streets is often a busy intersection, but they say that's no excuse. Jacques called police from Boston a few hours after the accident, and police say he does appear to be remorseful and so far is cooperating with the investigation. In addition to the hit-and-run charges, police say he does have some other outstanding driving violations, including driving with a suspended license. Elsewhere, Boston police issue stark warnings to people looking to drive along in a rideshare. You've heard of these companies, Uber and Lyft, often in the news for various other reasons, but now 3 separate reports come out from the Boston PD, all within a matter of just a few hours. Women who say they were assaulted when getting into a vehicle they thought it was part of a rideshare service. Well, it turns out they got into the wrong car. And it's not happening in just one neighborhood. 3 different incidents in 3 different parts of town. The first one reported by a woman who arranged for a rideshare service to pick her up on Dorchester Ave. When a car pulled up, she says she got in and the man offered her money and began touching her. She says just around that point, she then got a text from the real rideshare service that was supposed to meet her at the original meeting place, so she knew obviously something was wrong. She told the vehicle to stop. She got out. The other 2 incidents were similar, and they were reported within hours of the first one. Now, women say they got into these vehicles they believed to be part of the rideshare service before they were touched inappropriately. Police say these reports came from all over the area, Dorchester to Com Ave to Finola Hall. And police say they're asking people to be careful that the vehicle they're getting into is for sure a legitimate cab or a rideshare, and to ask to see the operator's license when you get in for your own safety there. In other news, the sentence is in. It's 3 years probation for the woman from Canton accused of stalking Chicago Cubs president Theo Epstein. Harvard-educated Kathleen Kearney showed up at Epstein's door a few years back. She even talked to his wife, who then called the police. Now, the Chicago Sun-Times reports that she pleaded guilty but mentally ill to 1 count of stalking. And now she's been ordered once again to stay away from the former Red Sox GM. Just to make sure, court officials require Kearney to wear a GPS monitor throughout the duration of her probation. Well, it's a close call for a couple from Pelham, New Hampshire. Could you imagine? A shotgun blast enters Raymond and Sandra Gladew's home, passing just over Raymond's head. Then a local man named Michael Crooker comes up and knocks on the door and apologizes. He says, "I'm sorry, he was just deer hunting." Now he's facing several charges. Police Lieutenant Ann Perriello says there have been several complaints about hunters shooting much too close to residential homes over the last few months. Over those last few months during hunting season, she says at least 9 people have complained about shots being fired very close to their homes. Now, the hunting season actually ended more than a week ago in New Hampshire, and yet we're still hearing about this incident that will most likely be added to the charges. Well, happy Hanukkah. The 8-day Festival of Lights kicks off Tuesday night. Joining the celebration, top public officials at the State House. It's the annual State House menorah lighting. House Speaker Robert DeLeo, Governor Deval Patrick, Senate President Therese Murray all came together to light this 15-foot menorah. And that's not all the officials on the guest list. Also in attendance, Attorney General Martha Coakley, Treasurer Steve Grossman, and Secretary of State Bill Galvin. Now, for those of you that might not know, Hanukkah is a Jewish holiday. As the story goes, over 2,000 years ago, the Jewish people were rebelling against Antiochus Epiphanes. A little history lesson for you. And they say a miracle happened. They only had enough oil left to last for 1 day lighting the menorah, but somehow the menorah managed to last 8 days, giving them just enough time to press new oil. And that was one of their sources of light back in the day, and it was a big deal. Now, one of the Hanukkah traditions is to eat lots of oily foods, among other things, such as latkes and, well, I gotta say, my personal favorite, donuts. I mean, who doesn't love a good donut?